and Maple Grove's going to have it.
Right out in front, they score! Welcome to our first Sports Jam show of the winter sports season. I'm John Jacobson.
And I'm Jay Wilcox. Ahead today on the show, highlights from prep wrestling, gymnastics, hockey, and basketball. Plus, we meet a standout guard from Brooklyn Park who is headed to the Big Ten next year.
We'll get started with a big day of basketball at the Lindbergh Center. The Breakdown Sports Tip-Off Classic features some of the top teams in the state. The girls took center stage with a few boys' games mixed in. A big game among the Class 4A schools featured number 2 Hopkins taking on number 1, defending state champion Eastview. TT Starks driving early for 2 of her 18 points. Royals up 7. Maddie Giebert answers for Eastview. Her three-pointer cuts the lead to 1. Less than a minute left in the first half. Ashley Bates drives baseline and scores. Royals lead 35-31 at the break. 18 points for Bates on the night. Second half, and the Lightning starts to control. Giebert passes Samantha Trammell to tie it at 41. A nice ball movement by Eastview. Rachel Ranke cans a 3 for a 57-50 lead. But as you would expect, Hopkins rallies. Nia Holly with a nice move in the lane nets 2 of her 17 points. On the break, Starks puts it in, and the Royals lead 62-61. Giebert comes through, though, driving for the basket and the foul, and the game goes to overtime. Field goals are hard to come by in OT, but Eastview gets a huge bucket from Emma Sin. The Lightning goes on to win 75-70. Giebert scores 35 points to lead all scorers. In other games involving area teams at the Breakdown, Champlain Park lost its season opener 56-42 to Eden Prairie. Rebels play 3 games this week, including at Andover on Thursday. And Park Center beat Delano in a matchup of top 5 Class 3A schools. The Pirates won 69-54. Michaela Hayes led the Pirates with 17 points.
A couple of days before facing Delano, Park Center's girls faced a pretty good opponent on the road to start the season. They played at Rogers, and the Royals start strong. Minnesota State Mankato signee Taylor Anderson scores for a 4-2 Rogers lead. And in transition, Park Center's Danielle Schaub stops and pops the long 2, and the Pirates go in front 14-13. Her sister Hannah bombs a long 3 from the left wing on her way to a 16-point outing. It's 22-16 Pirates. Rogers closes the half well. Taylor Paulsrud sinks a 3 from the corner, and it's tied up 29-29 at the half. The Pirates get out of the gate quick in the second half, though. Michaela Hayes dishes to Ann Simonette for a jumper here from the right side. It's McKenna Dubois burying a 3 as Park Center starts the half on a 9-0 run to go up 38-29. Dubois scores 12 points. Rogers stays close all night, but Hayes gets the putback. She helps the Pirates win it 70-63. We'll hear from the Pirates later in the show.
Wayzata's girls had their home opener against Egan Thursday. Egan leads early. Olivia Weinberger getting it to Tamara McLemore. The Wildcats take a 17-9 lead. Wayzata turns up the defense. Leah Johnson anticipates the pass, gets the steal and layup. Trojans still down, though, at the half, 24-20. Wayzata heats up in the second half. Annie Robertson with a dribble handoff to Sydney Hayden. She pops the short jumper for a 35-31 lead. Johnson finds Mimi Schrader, cutting for 2 of her 11 points. Trojans lead by 3. With 17 seconds left, Egan trails 55-53. Margaret Herrings finds Sydney Funk for a corner 3, and the Wildcats lead 56-55. But watch this, no timeout. Wayzata comes back up court. Schrader beats the buzzer. And Wayzata wins a thriller, 57-56 Trojans, the final. Now to boys basketball. Champlain Park's Rebels scored a big win over Hopkins just over a week ago, and they are ranked 3rd in Class 4A. Rebels hosting Anoka in a Northwest Suburban Conference game. Tied at 15, the Rebels go on a 20-3 run. Marty Hill hitting a 3-pointer, then Jeremy Johnson connects from long range. Hill will get a steal and zip in for the hoop. He scores 21 in the first half, and Champlain Park leads 55-25 at the break. Second half, the Rebels in transition. McKinley Wright to Theo John for 2. JT Gibson pops a 3-pointer with a hand in his face, put the Rebels up 68-27. And then on the break right, lays it off the backboard for Johnson, who jams it home. Champlin Park throttles Anoka 98-46.
Armstrong is ranked 5th, and they may be the favorite in the West Division of the Northwest Suburban Conference. The student section ready as the Falcons host to Tino Grace. The Eagles go up early. It goes into the post and back out to Cole Wagner for a contested 3. The Eagles lead 12-4. Armstrong is very sluggish in the first half, but Evan Nolan's jumper off the inbound pass helps the Falcons to a 23-22 lead at halftime. It heats up in the second half. Armstrong goes into Sean Burns, who spins and scores on the way to a 19-point game. In transition, it's Burns ahead to Nolan and back to the trailer Juby Alati for 3 as the Falcons get a little rhythm into their offense. The Eagles pass well to beat pressure here. Maxwell Walker gets the layup. He scores 26 despite getting whacked in the nose in the first half. Armstrong gets out and runs. Nolan to freshman Race Thompson, who scores some big hoops in this one. It's 46-45 Falcons. Wagner, though, grabs it away from Burns and sends it to Walker, who gets a layup on a goaltending call. That one ties the game at 53-all. Burns goes straight to the bucket, though, to score a big hoop here. It's 58-54, Falcons down the stretch. Down by 1, Grace has a chance to win it, but Edward Chamillo has to rush the shot, and it just misses. Armstrong survives a scare to win 60-59. So Armstrong put up 100 earlier in the week, got a real tough test there. Not a bad thing necessarily, though, to get a good game like that early in the season. Tino Grace not getting a lot of attention, but they played pretty well.
I think it'll be fun to watch Armstrong, Champlin Park, and Maple Grove, especially from our area in that Northwest Suburban Conference this season. One other note from basketball last week, Amir Coffey from Hopkins out for the year towards ACL against Burnsville last Tuesday, one of the top recruits, probably the top recruit from the class of 2016, so he'll be missed.
Definitely a blow for Amir and for the Royals, but the fortunate thing is he does have a little time to recover, still has some high school ball left to play. Well, now to wrestling, that season getting started as well. District rivals Osseo and Maple Grove met up in both teams' first dual meet of the season under the spotlight. First match at 106, Crimson 7th grader Gavin Peterson takes Jack Cornell down to his back in the second period. It results in a pin. Maple Grove leads it 6-0. Next match at 113, Osseo's Nick Carline, ranked 10th in Class 3A, rolls Michael Worley onto his back and gets the pin, helping the Orioles tie the match up. Osseo leads 16-12 when 7th-ranked Brad Ostachuk faces Adam Lanners of Osseo. Ostachuk gets the takedown. He goes on to win it 4-0. 2 matches later, top-ranked 152-pounder Carson Brolsma gets Robert Morgan for the pin. Osseo goes up by 1, 22-21. It's all Maple Grove from there, though. They win the final 6 matches, 4 by pin, including this one by Will Sear at 182. The Crimson take the Drogamiller Cup 53-22. Saturday at Maple Grove's tournament, Annandale Maple Lake takes the top spot, followed by Minnetonka and New London Spicer. Rogers is 4th. Maple Grove takes 8th place, and Park Center is 9th.
Always a fun one, Jay, when Osseo and Maple Grove square off.
Yeah, and it was interesting right in the middle, but obviously the Crimson closing it out strong and winning all the upper weights. Next up on Sports Jam, hockey highlights, including a couple of overtime thrillers. Welcome back to Sports Jam, and time to talk hockey.
And a celebration for one local team. Armstrong and Cooper combined this season for boys hockey. A legend in the Cooper program was honored Saturday. Former Hawks, Minnesota Gophers, and NHL defenseman Lance Pitlick was one of the speakers to honor Coach Ken Staples, who passed away this fall. Staples' family dropped the ceremonial first puck. Hall of Famer Staples will be recognized with a Stapes patch on the Armstrong Cooper helmets this season. Pitlick talked about his former coach.
Stapes became my coach first, and then we became really good friends, and I was still in contact with him, seeing him regularly year after year, almost 30 years now. So it's nice that we're able to recognize all his contributions to this community and hockey program.
On to the game highlights. Armstrong Cooper against Minnetonka. The skipper's Brendan Ryan off the boards, whistling a shot home to break a scoreless tie in the second period. Down 2-0 in the third, Armstrong Cooper rallies. The pass deflects high in the air, and number 15, Nathan Linderholm, gets 3 whacks at it and knocks it in to make it 2-1. The Wings later tie it, and we go to overtime. And watch how this one ends. Corey Gilbert with a good clean check at center ice steals the puck and starts a 2-on-1. Gilbert feeds Trey Rooney for the game winner, and the celebration is on. Armstrong Cooper with a 3-2 overtime win.
In girls hockey, Champlin Park got off to a strong start, but the Rebels faced two of the better teams in the Northwest Suburban Conference this past week. Goalie Hannah Gettle returning from an injury for the Rebels as they play Elk River on a power play. Kaylee Martinson's shot doesn't have a lot on it, but it squeezes through for a goal. Champlin Park takes a 1-0 lead. Elk River answers as Brianna Simon's first shot is stopped, but she pops the rebound home for a power play goal. It's a 1-1 game after one period. Late in the second period, Abby Canton slips it around the Rebels defender, then goes across the slot to backhand it home and beat Gettle. It's 2-1 Elks through 2 periods. Jim Coltis and the Rebels, though, tie it up in the third. Bree Johnson to Martinson. Her shot's blocked, but Abby Docken pumps the wrist shot under the crossbar. And this one goes to overtime, still tied at 2. And the Elks win it in OT. The pass is slipped over to Maddie Bazal for a quick shot and goal. Elk River wins a good one, 3-2.
Prior to that game, the Rebels met up with unbeaten Maple Grove, the second-ranked team in Class AA. Champlin Park hoping to score the upset, scoreless in the second period. On a Maple Grove power play, the pass comes across to Lauren Kaufman. She buries it. Crimson go up 1-0. After another Maple Grove goal, the Crimson can hold the zone. Kaylee Martinson unleashes a high slap shot that rattles in. Martinson's goal gets Champlin Park within 2-1 after 2 periods. Maple Grove does a nice job of cycling the puck here. Claire McLean to Abby Larson. Back to McLean for the wicked wrist shot for a goal. And it's 3-1 Crimson, 1:20 into the third. Bad carom cost Champlin Park. The pass will bank to Larson. Her shot stopped. McLean jabs the rebound in, and Crimson stays unbeaten with a 4-1 win over the Rebels.
After a couple of pretty good seasons, it's a rebuilding year for the Armstrong Cooper girls hockey team. The Wings did have some fun, though, Friday night against St. Louis Park. Armstrong Cooper's in white. Jessica Halverson brings it out front. She's stopped, but Haley Hansen gets there to knock it in before the goalie can cover that rebound. Anna Gleason of Park will stop 2 tries by Tori Adams, but Holly Enderly sweeps the loose puck in to make it 2-0 in the first, and the Wings are not done yet. Natalie Seedy gets to the loose puck first and knocks it home from the circle. It's 5-0 Armstrong Cooper after 1 period. Second period, and Patricia Hillstrom preserves the shutout by stopping Mary Gleason on a clean breakaway here. At the other end, Enderly gets the shot on net, and Adams puts the rebound away for a 6-0 lead. Armstrong Cooper wins for just the second time this season, 7-1. Also in girls hockey, Wayzata facing Cretin-Durham Hall at Plymouth Ice Center. A turnover leaves Wayzata with a close-in chance, but Maddie Wolzman is denied by Raiders goalie Emma May, and it's 0-0 through 1. Early in the second, the pass out front is deflected. Wayzata keeps jamming away at it. On the far post, Wolzman knocks it in. That's 25 seconds into the period. But the Raiders answer with a 2-on-0 breakaway. Anna Klein to Anna Beckers for the goal, and it's 1-1 after 2. Same score in overtime. Josie Guernsey stops and fires, but her shot hits some iron, and it stays tied. Taylor Nelson gets a chance at the other end, but May makes the save. May and Wayzata's Sarah Stelter are the stars in this one, as it ends in a 1-1 tie.
The Champlin Park gymnastics team won its first ever section title last season. Rebels return a very strong team again this winter. They hosted Park Center in their first meet of the season last week. Alexa Masters on the ball for Champlin Park. She scores a 9.25. For the Pirates on ball, Maddie Clausen sticks her landing for a 9.25 as well. To the bars, Champlin Park's Taylor Goodkeen. Strong swings on the unevens, and she scores an 8.6 for this routine. Balance beam, the Rebels' Amanda Cunningham has a good night and scores an 8.5. Haley Illy does even better for Park Center. She scores an 8.825. Good scores for both teams, but it's Champlin Park winning with a team score of 138.1. Jay at 138.1. Good way to start the season. It's a very high mark for the Rebels, and Park Center won its first meet of the season earlier in the week against Centennial, and that team much improved certainly from a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. I think we had seen some teams taking steps back in gymnastics in the area, but now we're seeing a little bit of resurgence, and it's definitely nice to see. Straight ahead on Sports Jam, we'll meet a DeLaSalle basketball standout from Brooklyn Park who has overcome some serious challenges to be a top college recruit.
The DeLaSalle boys basketball team is a perennial power, and this winter the Islanders are led by a Brooklyn Park native and Gopher-to-be Jarvis Johnson. The fact that Johnson is alive, let alone one of the best players in the state, is a miraculous story. Here's Jason Melillo with our Sports Jam Spotlight.
Jarvis Johnson wants to lead DeLaSalle to a 4th straight state title, and that will require the senior guard to be more consistent and effective on offense.
Last year, we looked into Reed a little bit more. This year, I'm more aggressive looking for my offense, getting everybody else more involved in transition, so it changed my game a lot more.
He's got to be more of a scorer this year for our team, and I think, again, it shows his basketball IQ in that he's looking for that more, he was more of a distributor in the last couple of years. This year, we need him to look for his offense. We're doing more things for him, and I've been really pleased with how he's accepted that role.
When he's on the court, Johnson is often laughing and smiling. Part of that is a pure joy for the game of basketball, but it also comes from knowing how precious life is.
It was so crazy because everything happened so quick.
When Jarvis Johnson was in 8th grade, he collapsed at basketball practice. His heart stopped.
And then they pronounced me dead because I was dead from 7 to 12 minutes. So after that, you have no oxygen. So, yep, I was pronounced dead.
Somehow Johnson was revived and suffered no long-term physical damage. But a near-death experience like that does change your perspective on life.
Stuff like that doesn't happen regularly on a daily basis. So it just makes me put myself even harder, to go hard every day, even in the classrooms.
Johnson has poured all his energy into becoming the best student athlete he can be. Johnson will be a full academic qualifier when he graduates from high school, and he's been one of the most sought-after recruits in the state. Unlike some of the top players in recent years who have opted to leave Minnesota, Johnson will stay at home and suit up for the Gophers.
Growing up, I always wanted to play in the Big Ten, so it was between Wisconsin, Michigan State, Penn State, and a couple others. But I just wanted to start a trend. Why not stay here at home, play in front of my friends, family. Everyone in the community gets to come see me. So that's what it came down to.
Jarvis has an extra gear that many high school players wish they had. He has it. Some can go to 4th, he can go to 5th in a hurry. He's also has a great basketball sense. He understands screen and roll on offense extremely well, very unselfish, willing to get others involved, and I think all those qualities are the reasons why the Gophers wanted him so much.
DeLaSalle is the preeminent program in Class 3A, and Johnson has started for the Islanders since his freshman year. A 4th straight championship would be amazing for a kid who embraces Islanders basketball almost as much as he embraces life. Jason Melillo, 12 Sports.
Jarvis had surgery back in 8th grade to install an implantable defibrillator near his heart. The defibrillator is designed to keep his heart in a normal rhythm. DeLaSalle is 2-1 so far this season and hosts the #1 ranked team in Class 4A, Apple Valley, on Saturday. Sports Jam returns after this.
Welcome back to Sports Jam. The Park Center girls basketball team defending state champion Class 3A, and they get a tough road win in their first game of this season. We're joined by their 2 senior captains tonight, McKenna Dubois and also Hannah Schaub. And McKenna, tough one here at Rogers. They're a pretty good team. You guys fought through some fouls and everything. How did you feel about the first night of the season for the Pirates?
It was good to get out there and play a team other than our team. We've had 13 practices, and after a while it just gets old. But getting out there and going hard against other teams and seeing everything work together after these 13 practices has been really good, and it was really fun.
Now, this is a new opponent for you guys too, and they obviously had some quality. Did they give you some challenges, some looks that are going to help for the rest of the season too?
Yeah, they had really good shooters, and they really good drivers. So when they drove, it was hard to help off the ball. And their posts are really big and strong inside. So they were an all-around really good team, and it's what we're going to see this season.
Obviously, you guys have talked about it a lot, defending state champion, but it's a brand new season. And how do you, make sure that everybody's just as hungry as they were last season?
We've kind of said last season's over, and we have something to prove this year. We've only lost one player, which is a big player, and everyone kind of doubts us, it seems like. But our goal is to just go out there and prove everyone wrong and try to get a W throughout the whole season, every game.
Jump into conference play in this week ahead here and playing Armstrong and then Centennial. Centennial obviously a very good basketball team. How much do you look forward to seeing how you match up with that club?
It'll be fun. They were a really good team last year, and they lost a lot of players, but they're going to be really good this year, and it'll be fun to play against them.
You guys do have so much experience, too, and even though there's a lot of sophomores, they don't play like sophomores, right?
No, they don't play like sophomores. They can do everything anyone else can do on the court. They play hard all the time. They'll give you their best game.
All right, McKenna, thanks for joining us. Good luck the rest of the season here.
Thank you.
And Hannah Schaub, who was coming off a knee injury toward the end of last season, and you got a chance to get it back out here and test it in the season opener. How did you feel about the way you played and about the team?
Well, the way I played, I thought I played good. I have a lot to work on, and I try to keep my ACL, like the hurt, back in the back of my mind, which I did. But all around, I think we played really good for our first game, but we obviously have a lot to work on, and it was good, a good first game.
Did it help you to get some confidence to be out there and running around? I mean, I'm sure you've thought about this night, about being back out here on a varsity court.
Yeah, it helped a lot coming back and playing, because 8 months of just sitting out watching was hard, and getting back was just so fun.
There were times when they kept coming back on you guys. They tied it up at halftime. They fought back after you put it into double digits. What do you think won this one for you? What impressed you the most about your team's play down the stretch?
I think our transitioning was really good. That's what we have been working on a lot during practice, and I think we really contributed in the game with the transition, and our finishing. So yeah.
Even though the season is just getting started, you get some conference opponents right away, including Armstrong and Centennial and this week ahead. Do you like the challenge of going against those teams, especially I guess Centennial has a pretty big reputation basketball-wise?
Yeah, yeah, I like it a lot. It's nice to play hard teams right away, so we know what to work on, get the season going.
All right, Hannah, thanks for joining us. Good luck.
Thank you.
That's Hannah Schaub of Park Center, battling back off a torn ACL at the end of last season and playing strong in the Pirates season opener. Going to be a great season, it looks like, again, for Park Center. We'll be back to wrap up Sports Jam in just a moment, but first, a look at our Plays of the Week. Deli fires up a three and hits it.
Sharing your passion starts with taking that first step. Take Will, for example. His first step was taking free TV classes at Northwest Community Television. He's learning production skills and now has access to cutting-edge equipment. He's working on local music productions, meeting new people, and gaining experience needed to produce his own show. Best of all, he's sharing his passion for music with others in his community. Share your passion. Visit nwct.org.
Our game of the week is a girls hockey game featuring 9-0 Maple Grove and last year's state Class AA runner-up Benilde St. Margaret's. Game is Thursday night at 7:30 in St. Louis Park. You can watch it live here on Channel 12 or on 12.tv, or catch the replay Saturday at 4 or Sunday night at 10. And that'll do it for this week's show.
Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time on Sports Jam.